Inside, the focus is again on Brandy Johnson, America's best woman gymnast. Her mother, Kathy Johnson, looking on. Coach Kevin Brown, well pleased with his best product. She's now about to show her step on the floor exercise.
Brandy just lights up the floor, and the music adds the electricity. It's a very popular music choice.
She's performing to the music track of Donna Summer's Hot Stuff, and she's been hot stuff, Brandy Johnson.
And she just opened with a pike full twisting double back, as good as anybody's in the world. She's definitely charged with more than what most gymnasts have. I love this second tumbling run. She does 2 whip overs through to a double back. Nice pass, a little trouble on the landing, but not bad at all. Look at the power in her jumps and in her leaps.
Kathy, I think what's so interesting about Brandy is not only is she a powerhouse of a tumbler, but her dancing is very expressive.
She's definitely chosen a good style for her for this floor routine. The crowd loves it, and it works great for her. Last tumbling run, a double back, little stumble out, and she actually stepped out of bounds right there. That's a 1/10 of a point deduction, as well as a step back, probably another 1/10 or a 1/10 and a half.
You remember that slip on the uneven bars cost Brandy that event. Now this recent penalty could be expensive because one of the best floor exercise performers yet, Shelley Stack, is still to come.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Good job. All right.
Is he good?
I think your heel hit. She put her hand up. But
Brandy was asking her coach if she did step out, and indeed she did. Taking a look at her first tumbling pass, this is impressive. Look at the lift off the floor. Perfect position in the twist. Slight leg separation, but hardly at all. Now this is where the mistake happened. But again, terrific lift off the floor. She pulls it around too far, stumbles back 2 steps, and of course the heel goes over the line. It's going to be 2 to 2.5 of a point deduction.
Judges score 9.687 puts Brandy in first, but the very gifted Shelley Stack will perform next. Will she deny Brandy yet another gold medal? We'll be back with more of the U.S. Gymnastics Championships right after this. Years old today, needs a 9.70 to defeat Brandy Johnson in the floor exercise. You'll recall that Shelley upset Brandy in the uneven bars, and she'd do it again in the floor exercise.
Shelley opens with a pike full twisting double back, just like Brandy. She stepped back, just like Brandy did on her last tumbling pass, and in fact went out of bounds. You saw the yellow flag go up.
Kathy, you just have to love this routine. She just cuts loose.
Her favorite event might be bars, but I tell you what, she looks like she enjoys this one. She shows a lot of energy in this routine, but it's so fast, it's hard to really show good, clean form. Showing good footwork and straight legs. It's something she really needs to work on. Her middle tumbling run is a combination pass, a double twist, due to a full twist. Now normally she usually does a double twist at the end of that pass, which is something she's going to need to add back to her routine. It's a very tiring floor routine. I would hate to have to train it. To do a double tuck dismount. Exactly what Brandy ended her routine with. Pulls it around. Little bobble on the landing, but not too bad. It's going to be really hard to beat Brandy's score. The difference in the 2 routines is Brandy did a more difficult middle tumbling run, and her dance was a little cleaner.
Good performance by Shelley Stack. Now she and her coaches await the judges' verdict.
On her first tumbling pass, she over-rotated and stepped out of bounds. She had good positioning in the air, but pulls it around too far and stumbles out of bounds. She really has to work hard on this final double back. Pushes the run, tries to get the lift, and pulls it around. The landing was just a little unsteady, but not too bad.
And the score from the judges was not too bad either, but not good enough to win. Shelley Stack finishes second in the floor exercise. Brandy Johnson wins 3 of the 4 events today. So the final order in the floor exercise shows Brandy Johnson the champion, followed by Shelley Stack and Christy Henrich. Brandy Johnson's overall performance, one of the most brilliant in U.S. history. After winning the all-around championship, she comes back to win 3 of the 4 individual events. Truly a superstar in the sport, and her star is rising at age 16.
Looking forward to World Championships this year and 3 years later in Barcelona, if Brandy can maintain her physical and mental training, which is difficult in this sport, she could win one of those coveted medals.
The most spectacular event in men's gymnastics is the high bar, and America's best are ready to perform on that when we return to the U.S. Championships. This is Don Cricky with Bart Connor and Kathy Johnson back at the U.S. Gymnastics Championships. The final men's event, the high bar, is coming up. Let's look back now at some of the earlier events, like the vault, where the entire explosive effort off the springboard left barely a second. William Roth of Temple University was the winner.
And he used a terrific laid-out Sukahara with a full, and he totally rocked the landing.
His score, 9.375. The Pac-10 all-around champion, Conrad Wursanger, was the judge's choice on the parallel bars.
Conrad did a terrific routine. It was packed with difficulty, good form, clean execution, as you can see there, with tight leg form. He finished with a stutz to a perfect pike double back.
And his 9.8 score was one of the highest of the entire meet. Now we go to our final event, the high bar. Here's Cheney Humphrey, who was injured much of his freshman season at UCLA, but he's in good health now, fortunately. He's a sensation in this event.
At the beginning of the show, I mentioned that we're going to see some really outrageous difficulty in these exercises. Well, on the high bar, Cheney has one of the most difficult routines being done. He does an incredible release sequence that's coming right here. Reverse act to another one. This one straddled right to a ginger. 3 release moves in a row. Nicely done. Cheney fulfills a requirement here. This is called an eagle giant swing. There's a hop pirouette. Look at the tremendous speed as he sets up the dismount. It's a laid-out full twisting double, and he over-rotates. What a shame. That's a half-a-point deduction. It was going so beautifully to that point.
A terrific effort until the ending for young Cheney Humphrey.
This is a great opportunity to see what happens on these 3 release moves. The first reverse heck, right to the second one. Notice the perfect regrasp position on the ginger. Boy, that's tough stuff.
The judges give Cheney Humphrey a score of 9.40. Strength and daring are the hallmarks of a high bar champion. In the all-around competition that was won by Tim Ryan of Stanford, he received 9.80, one of the highest marks in the entire all-around competition. Let's see how he stands up in the individual event final.
Well, Tim, as we mentioned, has been trying all day to get an individual event gold. He has not yet come up with one. Maybe this is his chance here. His high bar routine is certainly very exciting. Here comes his release sequence. One-arm giants to a reverse act, right to a ginger. Nice. He kips right into a pirouette, continues in giant swing positions. Once again, there's the eagle giant swings. Good clean form. A laid-out full twisting double and a nice landing. Boy, that's going to score well.
And congratulations from a former world champion, Tong Fei, who's one of Tim Ryan's coaches at Stanford. Tim Ryan, just 18 years old, continues to fly high and with great style on the high bar.
And